So I think this is the part where play along at home and get your chart out.
Draw this chart and send it to us. It is a period of civil war. Welcome to a podcast within the podcast, Rogue Ones, where some of our hosts go rogue to talk about polycules. My name is Mel. I use they, them pronouns, and you can find me on social media at Melvin Culpa and on TikTok at Grunkle Rex.
And my name is Ollie. My pronouns are they, them. You can find me on social media at Ollie Fresh. Fresh is with a PH on most social media. And we have a fun episode planned for you all today. This is something that we have been talking about since, I believe, July 9th of 2021. And that date is significant. That is the day that the Bad Batch episode Devil's Deal came out. That episode involves some new characters. Cham Syndulla was already there. We already knew him. But we got to meet Eleni Syndulla and Captain Hauser, who, if you guys are listeners of RuPalp's Podrace, you will know that the three of them are in a Polycule together. And the more we thought about it, the more we realized that there's almost like a connected universe, a Polycule universe, if you will.
Not the extended universe, not the EU.
Yeah. The SWPEU, the Star Wars Polycule Extended Universe. And that's what we're here to talk to you all about today.
It's like the 7 Degrees of Separation from Kevin Bacon, wherein basically using Cham Syndulla, you can connect almost any Star Wars character to him via Polycule. He's just got a magnetic energy about him.
So I think we should start from the beginning. Obviously, the inception was Cham Syndulla and Eleni. Right, they're together, they're in love. They meet Hauser during the Clone Wars and are like, hey, we saw you from across the bar and we love your vibe. And that's how Hauser gets in and we begin the Polycule.
Yes.
The other important thing to note is that Gobi does want to be in the Polycule and he is not allowed.
Absolutely not.
No, it's not that. The thing is that Cham just doesn't find him attractive and is not interested in him at all. He asks Cham and Cham is like, oh no, like there's Eleni's here in Hauser. She's like, I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but I can ask them. Yeah. So Gobi goes and talks to Eleni about it and she's like, yeah, no, I don't mind. Let me talk to Cham. Yeah, no, that's fine. Hauser also does not care, but Cham is like, no, I will not allow Gobi in this Polycule.
He said there can only be one epic, handsome Twi'lek in this Polycule.
Yeah, so that's sort of like the core, right? Then we have tragedy. Lenny does pass away. Something happens with Hauser. We don't know. He's not in Rebels. Cham's chilling by his lonesome. And here's where it starts to get fun. Mel, do you want to explain the next interaction that happens in the Polycule?
Oh my fucking god. I don't remember what episode of Rebels is the problem. There is an episode of Rebels wherein I believe it's the episode where Thrawn really gets introduced as a character.
It is the one where he gets Hera in their familial house on Ryloth.
Yes, and gets the Calicori.
Yes.
I forgot what it's called. That's gonna drive me insane.
You want me to look it up?
Is it Hera's Heroes? Hera Syndulla. That's
that's the episode where we learn about the Hera Syndulla.
And Thrawn hisses.
Yeah, not Thrawn entering his Catboy moment.
Catboy Thrawn?
Thrat Boy.
Not Thrat Boy. That's Earblood.
Myth Catboy. Yeah, it is Hera Heroes. It is.
Oh my god.
The way 5
of season 3?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, the way I knew that's really kind of scary. Anyways, so in episode 5 of season 3, Hera's Heroes, there's a scene, or a series of scenes, wherein Cham Syndulla and one Garazeb Orrelios interact. And
they don't. Well, here's the thing: they don't really speak to each other, but they are riding.
There's a vibe.
There's a vibe. They are riding their the blurg next to each other. So, I mean, they're not talking or anything, but they are standing next to each other.
Two bros on some blurgs. They might kiss.
Which brings us to the fact that Cham, who has become lonely and jaded without Eleni and Hauser, is talking to Zeb. He's waiting. His daughter's in the building. He's having a rough time. And he sees Zeb and he goes, hey, do you want to join my Polycule? And Zeb's like, well, who else is in it? And Cham was like, well, it's just me right now. And Zeb, being a kind individual who recognizes someone who's at his lowest, is like, I feel bad. Like internally, he's like, I feel bad because this man's clearly trying to start a Polycule, but if he's the only member, he can't. Like, oh, I feel really bad. So he joins out of pity. He's like, yeah, sure, okay, whatever.
Polycule.
Yeah. And then that episode ends and they leave Ryloth and Zeb kind of stops thinking about it. And then a lot happens.
Yeah,
from there.
Thinking, there's so many ways to go.
We do have a chart.
Yeah, and it's going to be on our social media.
Then we get to the end of Rebels, like season 4. And they meet like Ryder Azadi, right? And Zeb is like, he's still kind of thinking about Cham's Polycule, and he's like, I really need an out. So he meets Ryder Azadi and is like, hey, I have an idea for you. I know this man that I think you would really get along with. His name is Cham Syndulla.
The idea of Zeb being the fucking Nick Fury of this Polycule is very, very funny.
He really is. He's like, I'm assembling a team. It's a team of people who will be in a relationship with Cham Syndulla, so I can leave.
Have to be.
But here's the other thing. Zeb is like, I don't know if Ryder's going to go for a Polycule, if he'll enter this Polycule with Cham, and I guess me, until we can find someone else. Little do you all know, little does Zeb know, that Ryder was in a Polycule. And that was with Ephraim and Mira Bridger.
Who were also in a Polycule with Zebo.
But you see, so Zebo, Ephraim, and Mira Bridger were in a Polycule, but then Ephraim and Mira got sent to Imperial jail, and in jail they met Ryder Azadi, and that's where they started their Polycule.
Prison husband Ryder Azadi.
Yeah. So Ryder's like, yeah, sure, I'll join your Polycule, right? In that same sort of vein, Zeb meets Vizago, and they're not really connected, but he's like, oh my gosh, you're perfect. Like, I have a job for you when we're done with this.
Yep. And then the third and final member of this unholy trinity is Wolf. There's just something.
The idea of Cham telling Zeb, or what's even better is Hera telling Zeb about Hauser, and Zeb being like, okay, well, he's got a type, I can finish this out, let's get out. So he is like, Wolf, okay, buddy.
So this is my thought actually on it. I think that it's Vizago who brings Wolf in, because in the finale, Vizago and Wolf spend some time together having to deal with Mart Matin, and I think that is some trauma bonding that could flower into something beautiful.
The idea of Wolf and Vizago, because here's the thing, I think Vizago could only have met Cham like at the after Rebels ends.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think like
this has Wolf to be and Vizago are already a couple.
Yes. Well, here's the other thing. So here's a question. Do we want to put Wolf, Vizago, and Ryder? They're a couple. And then Zeb is like, this is great. Go meet Cham Syndulla so I can exit.
Yes, absolutely.
I love that. Okay, that's great. And then Cham meets them and is like, perfect. More boys to add to my collection. Cham is the patriarch of this.
Mm-hmm. The patron saint, the progenitor.
The progenitor. The progenitor.
I like saying progenitor. It sounds like fucking Terminator.
Okay. I mean, honestly, that's how I feel right now.
Yeah. It's like Terminator.
Yeah, I'm terminating all of my brain cells that are left. Do you want to introduce sort of the little sub Polycule that is attached to Cham?
Which
one?
Yeah, I was like, there are several, unfortunately.
Yeah.
From what I see here on this chart, 1, 2, 3, and that's not even including the Bridger Polycule.
I am talking about the the
Oh,
Solicule.
the Polycule, yeah. So there is just something very powerful about Cham and Saw as revolutionaries seeing each other and being like, interesting. And it only happening like once.
But Saw is in a relationship with Rex, as you all know if you're listeners
Yes.
of the show.
Rex Saw. So that does bring Rex into this Polycule. Well, by extension, he's in here.
He
But
is
he's
not.
also reconnected because we do also believe that Rex and Zeb hooked up at least once.
Speaking of people who have hooked up with Zeb at least once, let's get to Gregor, because I do believe after they hunted the Jupa together, they did explore each other's bodies. But that happened once.
It's
Only
very
once.
important once.
Yeah. That happened once, and Zeb was like, okay, I gotta get out of here now. This is too much.
But Gregor is in a Polycule also, or at least was, with Ketch and Bolo from the Bad Batch.
Yeah. When the Bad Batch dropped Gregor off at Sid's bar so that they could go and get Hunter back in the season finale of the Bad Batch, Gregor did join the Polycule of Ketch and Bolo.
As he should.
Yeah. So that let's loop back around. So the Polycules that we have are Eleni, Hauser, and Cham. Mm-hmm. Also keep in mind, these people are not all in an active Polycule at the same time. There are like subcategories.
It's once again like 7 Degrees of Separation of Kevin Bacon, where it's like these people know these people who know these people who know these people.
Correct. So it is Eleni, Hauser, and Cham. That's the OG, the blueprint. Then we have Cham and Zeb. And then by extension, then Zeb tries to make an exit. The post-Rebels Polycule is Cham, Wolf, Vizago, and Ryder.
Yes.
But let's talk about Vizago a little, because Vizago gives us a lot to work with.
Yeah.
Oh, I do want to say one more thing about the Cham Zeb situation, because after the end of Rebels, Zeb was like, thank God I can finally exit so I can be with Callus. But here's the thing. The reason I think Zeb finally is like, I have to get out of here, is he's with Callus. It's like the end of Rebels, and he's like, oh, we have to let's figure out our life together. And then Cham walks off the ship and kisses Zeb on the mouth, and Callus is like, whoa, what's going on here?
Kisses him on the mouth in front of everyone, in front of Hera.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing too about Hera. Happy you mentioned her. So Hera and Kanan are together, right? They are in a relationship.
Yes, but here's the thing.
Go ahead.
Hera was raised with Polycule parents in a Polycule, and Kanan was raised by Depa Billaba, someone who was not his parent and didn't have any romantic relationships to our knowledge. So
here's the thing. Hera's Polycules are normal. That's just what people do. And Kanan's like, okay, I trust you. I don't really know. Whatever. After what happens with Lasan happens, they recruit Zeb to the Ghost Crew. And Hera's like, well, this is just our third member of our Polycule. I guess. I don't. All right.
Not excited about it.
Yeah, it's fine. I like him plenty. He's a fun guy. And Kanan's like, okay, I guess. Zeb does not know this. And Zeb only realizes this when Hera's like, yeah, this is my boyfriend Kanan and our boyfriend Zeb. And Zeb's like, whoa, no, let's set some boundaries, because no. So basically what we have invented is a world where Zeb is always an unwilling Polycule member.
Until he isn't. There's one instance where he seems fine.
Yeah, so let's actually get into that. Do you want to explain that one?
So the only reason that this one exists is because there is an exceptional...
There are a couple.
Yeah, there's an exceptional amount of fan fiction about this. Like I could understand one, but the fact that there are 4 or 5 is a lot. So Fenn Rau is just he seems the type.
Yeah, well, so it's Zeb and Callus. They're together.
Yes. And then Fenn Rau's just hey besties, what's up? What's good? And they're like, okay.
With Fenn Rau, that also gives us a huge extended universe. The
extended universe within the extended universe.
Yes, the Mandalorian Polycule, if you will. This is hooked up explicitly, just specifically to Fenn Rau. This involves Ulrich Wren and Ursa Wren. So we get Fenn Rau as Sabine and Tristan's fun new dad who's like, hey guys, now that we're all from Mandalore.
Dad too.
But
Electric Boogaloo.
this I think only works if it's like Ulrich is it's Fenn Rau and Ulrich, but Ursa's there because she's like,
Yes.
don't do it without me. Like, I don't want you guys to be in a polycule without me, but like I don't think she has a real like
That is
yeah.
not the vibe I get from those individuals. However, there is a vibe that is caught from Ursa with Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
So the two of them are connected in that way. And do you know who Bo-Katan is also connected to in that way?
Who?
Fennec Shand. And you know who Fennec Shand is in a polycule with?
Who else? Who's
Boba
Fennec Shand?
Fett and Din Djarin.
Yes, correct. And also it is of note now, she was in a relationship at one point with Hunter Bad Batch. So that's just, he's in his own, he's connected by
he's in a
proxy
league
to
of
this
his own.
polycule,
Yeah.
but like
Once
but
again,
no,
it is just like 7 degrees of separation.
I do like Fennec Shand being the Zeb of this situation where she has had a relationship with more than one clone.
Good for her. Good for her.
Good for her. And this, of course, I think, in my opinion, does only work considering Hunter is a he/him lesbian.
Oh, absolutely. Same with Boba and Din.
Yeah.
They're all he/him
period.
lesbians. No one is safe from he/him lesbianism.
I like the idea of well, because here's the thing. I think Din and Boba, because they are also in love with each other, that's the question. I feel like so all of them, I think, aren't. I think all of them are non-binary. It's the thing.
Yeah, that's very powerful. Yeah, that's the problem with Fennec Shand and Boba Fett as a couple in general. Because I was thinking about this because I am pro Fennec and Boba, but the idea of it ever becoming canon, I know it would not sit well with me. I know for a fact because I'm like, no, it would suppose that they are heterosexual, and I'm like, no, this is not true.
It works in the canon in my heart, in which Boba is a very cool non-binary person. Which, you know what? Until someone tells me it's not canon explicitly, then it is.
Yeah. Okay, well, here's the other thing, is that there were so many people who were like, oh, Omega can't be trans, so Jango Fett and all the clones are trans.
Also very powerful. I do like that a lot. But let's go. So we have Din in this polycule, right?
Yes.
This is not something that I think like this is like, I don't know how to really intro this next part, because this does lead to a whole other. So we know that there are quite a lot of people who are enthusiasts of one Din Luke. So you now have Luke. Yeah, so we do have Luke Skywalker on here now. And from Luke Skywalker, we get a lot of moments.
Yeah. Well, first, I think this is the most important one because it's one that we can't really list because it is more of a technicality. Because Rey Skywalker is all of the Jedi, one Jedi being on this list means that Rey Skywalker is also here. So
yeah,
jot that down.
Yeah, just so you know, Rey does have Force visions, and she's like, hey, she's like, whoa, what is a Lasan?
Not her being like, I have to go to Lasan. The Force is telling me to go to Lasan.
And they're like, hey, bestie, I hate to bring this to you, but that planet does not have any Lasan on it right now. So we have Luke, right? Yeah. Do you want to go through Luke's
laundry list? We cannot imagine a world wherein Luke Skywalker is a heterosexual.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously. So we do have listed Biggs Darklighter.
Obviously, his first love.
And Wedge Antilles on here. His second love.
An honorable mention. So, but here's the thing. I think Biggs and Wedge are also connected.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, that was like pre-Luke joining the rebellion. And then they both met Luke and were like, oh my God. Biggs was like, oh my God, this is my old bestie, ? And Wedge is like, ah, okay. Does he want to join our polycule? And I think also we do have this. He is not, I don't think, a part of this polycule, but Ezra is there. Skybridger stands, we got you covered with this. Also, just so that we could get more members of the Ghost crew. And who else is Luke connected to? But
one Han Solo.
He is connected to one Han Solo, who does connect us to Kira, who does connect us to Dryden Voss.
Who does connect us to Maul.
Connect us to Maul. Maul's on here via Han Solo. He is not with Han Solo. Han is also connected to Leia, who is connected to Haldo.
Yes.
And here's my thing. I think that Leia, the idea of Sabine having a crush on Leia and constantly trying to be like, hey girl, like, what's up? I think that that's very funny. I like the idea of them having like a thing before Han joins the rebellion and Sabine being like, what the fuck? Him? What does he have that I don't? But then we get Sabine and then we get Ketsu. So that's how we get the two of them on there. I'm also like, I just think Leia and Chara Bay is fun. I just think it's cute. I don't know much about Chara Bay, but I just think it's fun.
I'd love to see a girl boss winning.
Truly. And then you get Kes Dameron just attached to Chara Bay only.
You also forgot attached to Han Solo, Lando Calrissian.
That is true. We do have Lando Calrissian, and we unfortunately cannot write out his entire laundry list, but it is there. Yes. Just keep it in mind. But also L3, so
yeah.
Anyone connected to the Millennium Falcon is also on this chart. From Zeb, Callus, and Fenn Rau, we get Ulrich Wren, Ursa Wren, Fenn Rau, all connected.
Yes.
Bo-Katan Kryze connected only to Ursa Wren. Fennec Shand connected only to Bo-Katan Kryze. Then Fennec Shand connected to Boba, Din.
Hunter.
But Boba and Din are like one, like, and Fennec are one thing. Hunter's a separate thing.
Yes.
Then you have Din connected just to Luke. Then you have Luke, Wedge, and Biggs Darklighter connected. Then you have Ezra just as an aside. Then you have just Luke and Han. Then you have just Han and Kira and Dryden, and just Dryden and Maul. Then you have Han just with Lando, and Lando just with L3. Then you have Han with Leia, Leia with Haldo. Then you have Leia with Sabine, and Sabine with Ketsu. Then Leia with Chara Bay, and Chara Bay with Kes Dameron. So that's how that arm of the Polycule chart works out.
We also did forget in Fenn Rau's original Polycule, Callus, who we do believe banged Eli Vanto once, which brings us to Eli and Thrawn, who also are connected to Samakro, because we do believe that when Thrawn sent Eli to the Chiss Ascendancy, he was like, hey Samakro, I'm sending you in mail order bride. And it's Eli.
Well, he was like, dang, Thrawn's like, Samakro has really probably been having a dry spell since I've been gone. I know he's not getting any. Eli, I need you to go and do this with Samakro for me.
Not Thrawn like slapping Eli on the ass and being like, give that to Samakro for me.
The idea of Eli going to he meets Aralani and she's like, okay, here's like everything you needed to know. And he's like, I just have one question. And she's like, what? And he's like, I'm looking for a mid-captain Oof Samakro. And she's like, oh my god. Okay.
Okay. I did think you were going to say that Eli was gonna like ask like, hey, I have a question about Chiss culture. So the one Chiss I knew did smack me on the ass. Is that like a goodbye thing? Is that like a hello? Is that like a friendship thing? And Arlani's like, no, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, oh, nothing. I guess that was private. I shouldn't have told you.
Not him being like, yeah, he smacked me. Some Chiss I knew smacked me on the ass. And she's like, that must have been for Samakro. So yeah, then we have that fun little moment. Yeah. God willing, Samakro will not pass away in lesser evil and invalidate this entire chart.
God. Samakro girl, if you die, if you pass away, I'm gonna fucking kill Timothy Zahn.
Truly.
No Thrawn without Zahn. I'm killing
This
Thrawn.
Is the reason.
Yeah, because I kill Timothy Zahn.
This is... So then we go back. Let's go back a little. Because so we've covered sort of like the Rebels original trilogy era. Mm-hmm. But that is not where this ends. If you are a prequels fan, Clone Wars fan, we got you.
Buckle the
Don't
fuck
worry.
up.
Because here's the thing. So we do have our new like post-Rebels Polycule, right? It is Cham, Wolf, Vizago, and Ryder, Azadi. Vizago had a life before this, right? And I think that this came to me actually right like yesterday when we were planning to record this. Keep in mind, we've been planning this since like July. Yesterday, I had a bit of a moment where I realized how we can connect this and make it bigger. And it revolves around one clandestine meeting between Vizago and Hondo Ohnaka. which unlocks an entire new world. So yeah, I do believe Vizago and Hondo Onaka, I think they may have had like a fling. Like, I don't know how you feel about this, Mel, but I feel like it was like maybe like a week or like 2 weeks, like a summer lovin' type deal.
Not fucking Grease, but it's Hondo and fucking Vizago.
Which is which? I think Hondo is Sandy.
Tell me more. Like, does he have a ship? Tell me
Oh,
more.
no.
Tell me. Wait. Okay, but Hondo did steal Vizago's ship.
Yeah.
Messy breakup.
I think that was he's like he took the ship in the breakup.
I can't with that.
So we have that. Hondo opens up a whole world for us. Let's get with the one that's like canon, which is unfortunately Hondo and Orrelios.
Yes. But we would like to suggest fun detail that you may have missed in Solo. Tobias Beckett did kill Orrelios. That is what he is known for. We do like to think it was because of a lover's quarrel, because he was in a polycule with Hondo and fucking Aura.
Yeah.
Val was also there, but she was like, this is fucking dumb anyways.
I think Val came in later, like post all of that nonsense. Beckett had just come off. He's like, I just killed Orrelios. I'm very like, I feel vindicated in my breakup.
Hey, and she's also, like, you know what has just occurred to me? That gentleman that they travel with in Solo, played by Jon Favreau, are they not in a polycule?
You know, you were actually so right. What is that fool's name?
I don't know. It's like
I always just called him Adult He.
Adult He. I can't with that. This is how he can still win in the polycule.
Yeah, he is. Get he out of the polycule.
No, it's Rio Durant.
Wait, Rio Durant?
Like Roland? Wait, did we just accidentally discover something? Wait.
Is this okay? Here's a question, because we know that the people who wrote Solo don't care about sharing last names, because we do have Dryden Voss, and he's not related to Quinlan Voss.
That's true.
Is Rio Durant related to Roland Durant?
Is he Roland Durant's shitty stepdad who left?
Oh my god.
Holy shit. We just opened this wide open. It feels like we're filming a true crime podcast right now. That's what this feels like. We're solving the murder of Rio Durant.
Is it spelled with a D at the end or a T?
T.
I think the other gentleman is Durand. Damn, we really had something there. That does mean that, so Rio from Solo is now in the polycule with Val and Beckett.
Here, I'll just add him here.
Yeah, we do have this all written out. Again, it is on our social media. Please look at it. This is going to be incomprehensible without the chart.
I feel like the fucking Pepe Silva meme. That's
like connecting all of the red string on the board behind you while we're like, we look insane.
Yeah.
So then we have Val, Rio, and Beckett.
Hondo
branching off of Hondo.
Yeah, branching off of Hondo again is Bosk,
which was a suggestion from Jess, who is one of our other co-hosts on RuPalp's Podrace. We did ask, who do we think that Hondo has explored? Whose body do we think Hondo has explored? And Jess was like, hot take, Bosk once. From Bosk, though, here's my thing. As you all may know, Bosk and Boba are pretty close. I think that Bosk definitely has stepdad energy to Boba. So we connected him to Django.
Yeah. We are Bango shippers here.
Yeah. Yeah, we are Bango shippers here.
Or Bongo, if you want to really get funny.
I like Bongo. That's very funny.
Bongos Bingus. We're filming this for Ollie. It is almost 1 a.m. and for me it is almost 11.
To be fair, you're the one who just said Bongos Bingus, and it's only 11 o'clock for you, so that seems like a you problem. So we have Hondo connected just to Bosk, connected just to Django. Now here's where we get crazy.
This is where things got cracked wide open.
This is where I realized that if we could connect Hondo to this gentleman, we would have an entire new chart on our hands. And that is one, Polycule King himself, Obi-Wan Kenobi. So we have now connected Hondo to Obi-Wan, because again, I do believe they had a single illicit affair.
I would like to go over my favorite part of this whole situation. Please. I am firm in the belief that Obi-Wan and Cad Bane did make love once.
I don't know if it was love making.
Yes, it was. It was love. It was real to me. It was real to me. Have you seen that Black Widow meme?
I have.
Okay.
It was real to me.
It was real to me.
Yeah. Do you mind explaining how this went down?
Yeah.
Like what the situation was?
The situation was the whole situation. It's post the arc where the Racco Hardin arc. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so this
Cad
is not
Bane,
while Obi-Wan is in his.
It's not.
Heart. This is post.
It is post. So here, let me put some context to this. So Obi-Wan and Cad Bane like have that bonding moment, and Obi-Wan's like just like he's a cool dude, you know. And Cad Bane realizes that it's been Obi-Wan this whole entire time and not Racco Hardin, and he was like, I could have been fine, lived my life normal, having like a weird kind of crush on Racco Hardin, but the fact that it's Obi-Wan Kenobi is so upsetting to me. So he reaches out to Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan's like, do you want to talk about this? Like, what is up, but my guy? It's me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. And he's like, fine. So they have dinner.
Sounds just like him. Your impression is on this is perfect.
Thank you. So they get dinner. And one thing leads to another, and they make passionate love, and then Cad Bane's like, I can't do this. Goodbye.
I do think Cad Bane, they do, and then Cad Bane's like, all right, thank you. I'm over it.
Yeah, exactly. That's all. He only needed one hit, and that was it.
We do also want to add, Obi-Wan is of course connected to Satine, like just she's there. The other one that I think is important to mention right now is he is connected to Brea and Bail Organa in a polycule with the three of them. I'm not sure when this would have happened. I mean, I think maybe chronologically it would have to be like between Revenge of the Sith, like between him dropping off Leia with them and going to deliver Luke to another polycule. So Beru and Owen and Obi-Wan.
Here's my thought on that whole matter. I know that, Padme gives birth and like the babies come out and they're big as fuck like that. But I do like the idea of there being like a 2-month period wherein Obi-Wan is just hanging out with the Organas and he has both of the children.
It makes sense that Obi-Wan would be like, I don't really want to travel with a newborn baby by myself. That makes a lot of sense, actually, to me. Oh, that's actually so cute of Obi-Wan, Brea, and Bail raising Luke and Leia for like 2 months. Oh.
And then he had to go and disrupt it. Whore!
Yeah. So Obi-Wan takes Luke to Beru and Owen.
And then enters a polycule with them.
And they're like, oh my god, hey, are you okay, stranger? And he's like, not really, but it's fine. Because here's the thing, he did just... we should have gone over this other one first, because he did just lose his boyfriend Cody, but we'll get to Cody. But he's very raw from that, so he's like, yeah, no, I'm not really okay. And they're like, do you want to hang out? And he's like, yeah. And they're like, do you have a place to live? He's like, no. So they're like, okay, well, you can come stay with us. So Obi-Wan enters the Beru and Owen polycule. Then they have a messy breakup, and Owen is like, go live in a hut by yourself. So that's where we find them in A New Hope.
Yeah. Also, we do like the idea of Beru and Peli at some point.
Just like, yeah.
But not
like
Owen.
I think, yeah, that's just Beru and Peli. I think that may have been like a before Anakin shows
high
up
school
in
lovers.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh my god.
Okay, now we get the Grease AU, but it's Grease AU, but it's Peli and Beru.
Holy shit.
I mean, Peli does work.
I
assume she probably uses grease.
She's a T-bird.
Yeah.
Peli T-bird motto.
I don't like the idea of Peli played by John Travolta.
That's my new fan cast for her.
Sorry, Amy Sedaris, get out. But yeah, so that's that. But we did mention there is a Clone Wars polycule, which is Obi-Wan and Cody, obviously. So they're together. But here's the thing. You all have seen the episode featuring Quinlan Vos in the Clone Wars, where Quinlan, the first thing he does is walk up and hit on Cody and then tell Obi-Wan he looks like shit. So here's the context we have for this one. Obi-Wan is with Cody. Quinlan and Obi-Wan had like a passing thing, like when they were Padawans. Quinlan meets Cody. Quinlan beds Cody. And Cody tells Obi-Wan, and the three of them enter a Polycule when Quinlan's on Coruscant, or when he's passing through the neighborhood. But
if you've read Dark Disciple, you know that Quinlan is in a canon relationship with one Asajj Ventress.
And if you've watched the episode of Clone Wars where Ventress is a bounty hunter, you will know that she is in a relationship with one Lats Razzie. So,
which brings us to the end of this fucking Polycule list.
Do we want to go over what we have, like the actual Polycules themselves?
Holy shit!
So this is the OG, which is Cham, Hauser, and Eleni. 3 of them, right? Then we have 3 of them. Then we have Cham and Zeb. The Polycule Zeb's like, I don't want to be in this, but I feel bad. The Pitycule. So then Zeb recruits Wolf, Vizago, and Ryder Azadi. So then the Polycule at the end of Rebels is Wolf, Cham, Vizago, Ryder, Azadi, and that's that unit. Cham did once have a meeting with Saw Gerrera, so Saw and Rex, who are also in a relationship, are there. Rex, who did hook up with Zeb once, is also there, but Saw and Rex are monogamous, and Cham and Saw was like a one-time thing. But we also can't forget from Ryder Azadi, we have Ephraim and Mira Bridger with Ryder, and then we also have Ephraim and Mira with Zebo. So then we have Zeb post leaving the Cham Syndulla Polycule, right? We do have, like, this is obviously before, was Kanan and Hera being in a theoretical Polycule with him where he did not know that he was in the Polycule, and then was like, actually no, and they were like, oh, okay. Wait, you mean you're allowed to be in a relationship with just one other person? So then we have Zeb and Callus, right? Mm-hmm. Callus, who in the past had a relationship with Eli Vanto. So then we have Eli Thrawn and Samakro, right? So then we have Callus and Zeb, who, hang out with Fenn Rau once. Maybe a couple times, depends. Then you have Fenn Rau connected to Ulrich and Ursa Wren. Then we have Ursa Wren connected to Bo-Katan Kryze. Then we have Bo-Katan Kryze connected to Fennec Shand. Then we have Fennec Shand connected to Hunter Bad Batch. Then we have Fennec, Boba Fett, and Din Djarin connected to each other. Then separately, we have Din Djarin connected to Luke. Luke connected to Just Ezra Bridger. Then we have Luke, Biggs Darklighter, Wedge Antilles, and it's the 3 of them. Then you also have Luke connected to Han Solo, who is connected to Kira, and Kira is connected to Dryden Voss, then Dryden Voss is connected to Maul. Then you have Han connected to Lando, and Lando connected to L3. Then you have Han connected to Leia, Leia connected to Haldo, Leia connected to Sabine, who is also connected to Ketsu, and then Leia and Poe Dameron's parents.
Okay.
There's also Zeb the once with Gregor. Gregor's connected to Ketch and Bolo. So yes, this does mean that Zeb has so here's my thought how this works. Post Jupa, Zeb and Gregor have a fun little hangout. Then another time, Rex and Zeb, I guess, had gotten drinks or something. We're like, let's do it. And then Zeb's like, this is
weird.
That was weird. I already hung out with your brother, so I can't do this right now. Goodbye. So then we have Gregor once, and Gregor, who is connected to Ketch and Bolo, who are obviously the 3 of them at the end of season 1 of The Bad Batch.
I would also like to add the addendum that because Rey Skywalker is all of the Jedi, she is also here just because there is literally more than a Jedi here.
Yeah, there's a couple. So she's connected. So here's the idea that I do like. Let's get to this at the end. Let's table this because I do have something I'd like to say about Rey. So then we go back to the original, like post Rebels Polycule, which is Cham, Wolf, Vizago, and Ryder. From Vizago, we have a one-night stand with Hondo, maybe like a summer fling. I think summer fling Hondo Zago is very funny. From Hondo, then we have Hondo, Oracing, and Beckett. Then we have Beckett, Val, and Rio from Solo. We also have Hondo connected just to Bosk and Bosk connected just to Django. Then we have Hondo with Obi-Wan, because I think obviously, right? Let's all agree that did happen at one point or another. Obi-Wan with Cad Bane once. Obi-Wan, Brea, and Bail in that Polycule. Obi-Wan with Cody, and then with Quinlan Voss in that Polycule. Then Quinlan Voss with Ventress, just the two of them. Then Ventress with Lots, just the two of them. Then we have Obi-Wan with Beru and Owen. And then High School Sweethearts, Peli Motto, and Beru Whitesun. I think that's everyone. I feel crazy.
Yeah.
I would also let's talk about Rey. So Rey is all the Jedi. Also, she does have psychometry, I guess, which
it's her.
I did not understand when I saw the movies, but
her, Quinlan, and Cal Kestis.
Yeah.
I think you just have to be epic and lonely.
So I do post the we are all the Jedi at the end of Rise of Skywalker. I like the idea of Rey getting visions of what the Jedi used to be, and that's how she learns to rebuild the Order. So here's how we connect the High Republic to this. So for those of you who haven't read the High Republic, I'll keep this short just so you guys know. There is a character who canonically does make love, does fuck. Yes, it is Elzar Mann. Elzar Mann is in a Polycule with two other Jedi, Avar Kriss and Stellan Gios. We know for sure that he and Avar did canonically have
relations.
A little fun relations. And Stellan, if you read the books, you'd be like, yeah, of course.
They fucking.
Yeah, you know it. But I do like the idea of Rey having a vision and being like, oh, there was a Polycule in the High Republic. So that's just a fun little moment. But I do think at any point Rey would be liable to have a vision and be like, yo, the Jedi were crazy. But I also do too with that. It's not even because the Jedi are connected. It's not even stuff that the Jedi have experienced. She's because the Force flows through this Polycule, she's liable to have a vision about any of them.
Period.
Which I just think is very fun.
The idea of her having a vision about Ketchin, Bolo, and Gregor is so much.
The idea of Rey having a vision about Samakro.
She's like, damn, that man's chits are huge.
I do like the idea of her trying to articulate to Finn, Rose, and Poe about Jana. I think
God,
too.
We forgot about the Polycule. We forgot about the sequels Polycule of Jana, Rose, and fucking Rey. God damn it.
Yes, Jana, Rose, and Rey are in a sequels Polycule.
Yes, they should be.
They're not really connected to this only because Rey is all of the Jedi.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea of her trying to explain to all of them, she's so I did see, okay, so y'all know Mandalorians? And they're like, yes, we know Mandalorians. And she's like, so there was this one Mandalorian
that I think fucked Din, or that fucked Luke.
Her trying to explain Luke Skywalker's promiscuity to Poe, who knew him as a child, when Poe was a child, and him being like, girl.
The idea of Poe Dameron running up to fucking Wedge Antilles and being like, you whore, is very funny.
There's nothing else I can add to this.
No, I think it's perfect what we have. And I have a very bad feeling I'm going to be editing this and being like, what the fuck is happening? We hope you enjoyed our discussion on polycules. Keep an eye out for our next regular episode of RuPalp's Podrace. If you enjoyed this, leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Follow us at RuPalp's Podrace on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And subscribe to us on your preferred podcatcher. May the Force be with you. And don't grip it up. Waka waka. Well, wait. Do we say waka waka?
Waka, I guess. Waka waka. It feels weird not to say it.